Carlos Galvan has held senior positions in the banking sector and is chairman of the Regional Hispanic Chamber of Commerce and the Regional Hispanic Institute. And Carlos, great to see you once again.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you for having me.
We're talking about access to capital. What's the situation facing businesses needing capital?
Banks are still lending money, but banks are also making it tougher to qualify for that money. Some banks have really scaled back business lending. They've cut back on the lines of credit, especially, and it's a tougher environment now to qualify for financing.
So, Carlos, how hard is it then to access small amounts of funding?
If the person has good credit and good cash flow, it's still relatively easy to qualify. Where people run into trouble are people whose FICO scores are not quite as high as the bank would like them to be, and their cash flow is not as strong as they would like. And a lot of businesses fall under that. But if the borrower is a solid borrower, good credit, and the business is making money and is strong cash flow, it's still pretty easy to obtain financing.
And are banks the only place for funding?
No, there are venture capital, private equity firms that do have financing, though those resources are starting to dry up somewhat because they're really dependent on private investors to provide them their money. They're still out there. There's still organizations that provide small micro loans that get funding from SBA and other private sources. But banks really are the first stop for most folks.
And what about tips for presenting the best case for funding?
Previous to my current position, I was a banker. In banking, we have a saying, the best time to apply for a loan is when you don't need it. So obviously when your cash flow is at its strongest, your business is making money, and you don't need a loan, that's when you really should plan to apply for financing and preparing yourself for funding.
So what types of enterprises or projects are likely to receive favorable treatment?
Retail establishments, existing businesses are going to get the financing currently. Newer businesses or startups will typically have a harder time. They have to provide a lot more documentation, and they have to basically put together a business plan that shows how their business is going to succeed.
So how can the Chamber assist its members?
The Regional Hispanic Chamber can assist its members in business plan preparation, putting the members in front of the banks and other lenders, and really preparing them for application of loans or lines of credit.
If somebody wants to find out more, how do they do that?
They can access the Regional's Hispanic Chamber's website at www.regionalhispaniccc.org.
Carlos, thanks very much.
Thank you.